doing all the He's doing all the good things. First of all, giving obeisances to Srila Gurudev and to Srila Guru Maharaj. Here in Hari Gopal Prabhu is with us here as a participant. Whoever is here must be a participant. Yes, Hari Gopal Prabhu. Please come close. Yes. You fit into the camera. I'm not into the cameraman, but it's standing on blocks of wood. The computer is on blocks of wood because it's very practical. Dana, Hare Krishna, and hearts and flowers and all good things in return. Rupanuga Prabhu, thinking of you, positively thinking of you. And Lynn, happy to have you with us, our regular Lynn. I know you're with us when you can. Seva Rupa, always with us. We know, with Zoom or not with Zoom, we know it. And as is Leela Moy Prabhu, looking after us late in the night in Brazil. Leela Moy Prabhu, now back in Uberlandia? Or back in Uberlandia, yes.
Yes.
After festivals up in Campos de Jordão, which is a long drive from Uberlandia to Campos de Jordão. So well done to you all, and welcoming Indulekha Devidasi too, who just joined us. So as devotees are coming together, let us chant our mini Vandanam as we do, and then continue. Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Ganalalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvijay Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And while chanting an auspicious invocation, then more auspicious souls joined us. Jivana Devidasi and Gangalila, Devidasi Priya Bhakta Prabhu, and iPhone. And maybe iPhone can show us their form and we'll be able to guess who is behind iPhone. I think we've had this puzzle before and I don't recall who it was. All right, so dear devotees, back to basics. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Okay, and to Mathura Basini joining us on Facebook, and to others, because I can't see everyone on Facebook, but I do have Facebook on this week because I have 2 connections. So here we are. We're here to serve, and we are here suddenly after the festivals of Navadip Dham Parikrama and Gaura Purnima and Ananda Utsav of Jagannath Mishra. And suddenly after the festivals, because really it's suddenly after the festivals, even more sudden than Navadip, which always, in Navadip are always like surprised how quickly devotees go, because we're not thinking of devotees going after the festival. But here, because it's a working week and everyone's got duties at home, then suddenly I think 8 devotees left yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So This is the way of the world. The festival is over. The feasting is, well, it would continue if they were here, but the feasting for the festival is over, and the devotees return to their homes. So we are, I think last time we spoke, maybe we said, oh no, because it was, 2 times ago, we said it's the quiet before the storm. Then on Sunday, when we spoke last, it was already the storm. No, yes, the storm was happening. Anyway, we had the quiet before the storm. Then we had very hectic festival times. And just now, it's 3 in the morning and it's very peaceful after the storm, we can say. The storm means the busyness with all the devotees present. So anyway, Sri Gaura Purnima, we've all been celebrating around the world. And today we have the good fortune of having Jeevana Devidasi with her, and maybe her dove also. So Jeevana Didi can maybe share something of Gaura Purnima throughout the millennia, because from previous millennia and earlier than myself, certainly she's been with Krishna consciousness, and she's been to many and seen many Gaura Purnimas. So, Jeevana, whatever you like to say, but we'd be happy to hear about Gaura Purnima in the very early days, even before I was born in Krishna consciousness, which was 1980. So you have at least 10 years experience before that. Is that correct? You want to admit what year
Something
you...
like that.
Yeah. And
Along those
admit in the
lines.
sense of, I know the lady always want to look 21 or maybe 25.
Oh, it's so funny how this world really is. But actually, all the Gaur Purnima celebrations, it's amazing because over the years, we every year we're there and we look at each other and go, wow, we're here again. We get to do Gaur Purnima again. We're always like, it's another treat. It's such a wonderful experience and such a wonderful bonus, like a benefit from the Lord that we could do this. And so we had a nice festival. Of course, I'm sure everybody did. And it makes me think, and I was seeing all the festivals around the world and in the different countries and thinking about that verse. It's not a verse, it's a quote. And they give credit to John F. Kennedy, but it's not his quote. But anyway, I always like that quote because the quote has something to do with higher waters, when all the waters are rising, all the ships are also elevated at the same time. So higher waters raise all ships. So even sometimes I'm looking, oh my gosh, they had such a beautiful festival. I wish I could have been there. But I think all these festivals all over the world are actually benefiting all of us and actually benefiting the entire planet. And it's quite amazing what is going on in the planet in the middle of Kali Yuga, because Kali Yuga is such a degraded age, but it's like we have an umbrella under the lotus feet of the Lord and our gurus, and inviting so many souls to join under that umbrella. And it's really happening around the world. And so we were watching some of the different festivals going on and having our own festival. One really cool thing that came up, and I think you already have this in your Zoom call with the UK, is about how Mahaprabhu is actually not just an avatar, he's an avatari. So we were talking about that because a lot of people hadn't really heard of it quite like that. And I mean, we knew that it was a very special Mahaprabhu, but to hear more about how he's an avatari, how he's there's a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where he says, we're talking about how Glani or Bhavati Bharata, he comes in every age, he sends someone in every age. And then there's a verse where he says, but I cannot do this in the Kali Yuga. I have to come myself because no one else can give this highest love of God and this Radha Dasyam conception. So he came himself because he was thinking of the fallen souls and how much we needed. In order to give that, he had to come actually his self. So that was the avatari, and that was really exciting how we were talking something about that. I'm sure that was coming up for other people too, and a very wonderful concept. When in different places where we're hearing from Govinda Maharaj and Srila Guru Maharaj, they're saying how, there's so many billions and billions of fallen souls. I mean, we're so teeny tiny. I think we were discussing this in one of the Zoom calls here. If you have an entire big burlap bag full of mustard seeds, that's like all the universes are just like that. They're just like teeny weeny mustard seeds everywhere. There's so many billions of them. And then amongst those, we're just like this little teeny weeny little spirit soul. And even that tiny amount of spirit soul can enliven this whole huge, massive ignorance. But we have a chance to be able to connect to this incredibly huge, great fortune that we have. And so we were talking about that, and many times what I was going to say is that in these videos that we listen to of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, a couple times they will actually say how Krishna, he's always thinking about these, even though he's playing and having all his pastimes, he's also always thinking about the spirit souls. And in one place, Gurudev says, Krishna likes the spirit souls. So sometimes if we're having a hard day or something's a little off, we'll look at each other and go, Krishna likes us. So, we're going to keep going. But I thought that was a very, very cheerful reminders always coming to us from our guardians and from associating with each other, with our God brothers and God sisters, and remembering these things. It's very, very beautiful. And then I was just going to read one really small sloka from the Prapanajivanamrita that always struck me as super amazing and kind of fun at the same time. And it's from the Govinda Lila Amrita, and it's from Krishna. I think Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami is quoted here in the Prapanajivanamrita for this one. But I can read a little bit of the Sanskrit if you guys can tolerate this really inappropriate pronunciation.
Hare Krishna, please do.
It's okay. Thanks, Maharaj, always encouraging us. It's way towards the end of the 6th chapter, embracing the Lord's guardianship. And the Sanskrit is like, then what Guru, how in the Prapanajivanamrita is the first part of it is always Gurudev himself saying really what's going on, and then he gives a verse to back it up. It's really the Prapanajivanamrita is really Srila Guru Maharaj's insights. So his line is Sri Chaitanya Shritasya Parama Pumarta Prapti, and the verse is Yo Gyana Matam Bhuvanam Dayalur Ulagayan Apya Karot Pramatam Swaprema Sampat Sudaya Bhuteham Sri Krishna Chaitanya Amun Prapadye. And from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, she says that the soul surrendered to Sri Chaitanya Dev attains the supreme perfection of human life. And then he's backing it up with this sloka. And this is the sloka. I surrender unto that performer of miraculous deeds, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the merciful Supreme Personality, who delivered the insane universe from the disease of ignorance, and then drove the world stark mad with the nectarine treasure of his sweet love divine. Always really liked that verse. Saving us from our insanity and then making us insane, but in a totally different realm. And that's something that I was thinking, Maharaj.
Very beautiful, and that shloka always brings a smile to everybody's face. I mean, we just have to think about it, and when we capture a little bit of the nature of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his humor, by the way. I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu definitely has humor. You read through Chaitanya Charitamrita, hear Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we see that humor is a part of life. Good, I mean, of course, good humor is a part of
Mhm.
life. And then Mahaprabhu, we can think, yes, he's rescuing the whole world from its insanity of ignorance, but then rescuing it in one sense and then again making everybody mad with the absolute opposite of ignorance, which
Wow.
is Krishna prema. And that too has some symptoms of the opposite. So many times we hear about the material plane, it's a reflection of, I mean, likened to a reflection of the spiritual plane. And so in the high end, there is one symptom which looks like the very bottom of the low.
Mm.
So we often hear this about the gopis, Krishna's play with the gopis, etc. But also Mahaprabhu's madness in the higher section, in the highest point, and then also in the very lowest point of this world, we see another kind of madness. That's a beautiful verse, yes. And encouraging for us, because this is why Mahaprabhu came. One of the reasons we know. And I think everybody here for the last few days, we've been reading from different sources about Mahaprabhu's qualities, why he came, what he did, etc. And what happened at the time of his arrival and just before his arrival, etc. And so, yes. And that first point you made, that about ships rising. I think if somebody just put on a piece of paper, have you heard this verse or this expression before about when the oceans rise, all the ships rise? I would have credited it to Yudamanu Prabhu,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
So,
he did appreciate some of the things from John F. Kennedy, and that's where he got that. But he applied it in such a good way, and in such a way that helps you. You know how we talk about FOMO, fear of missing out. Like you see these beautiful things going on, and you think, "Oh man, I was sitting here at my desk, blah blah blah," and you just feel like, "Oh, I'm missing out." But then when you think of it in terms of that higher waters raise all ships, that it's getting higher someplace, I'm also going along with it because we're all connected, we're all one big family, and we all benefit from these things. So yeah, but
and
it's
this,
funny that you thought of him. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Well,
great.
even now, I'm not going to remember the John F. Kennedy part. I'm going to remember the Yudamanu Prabhu Seva Vikram part. He maybe in his humilities gave credit to John F. Kennedy, but then we know. But the wave of Sankirtan, because everywhere in the world there's been really grand Sankirtan.
Mhm.
I mean, really, that has been flowing intensely, in particular during this last week or this last few days. And everywhere we read about the influence of Sankirtan, the chanting of the names of the Lord. And so, in California, but also starting from Murwillumbah, a remote corner in Australia, which, yes, we know for the Australians, it's not well, it is a remote corner. I don't think in Australia many people know about Murwillumbah, at least before the Hare Krishnas got there. And what to speak of Yukai, a town which apparently has 1,000 and now 1,001 residents with Priya Bhaktapur living there. I mean, that's a tiny village in the middle of nowhere. But there, Grand Kirtan has been going on from there all over the world. So here also in Italy, in Milan, we did Kirtan, but from here, the little village of Merate, tiny little place. By the way, the area here that Munindra Mohan Prabhu wants to make into a country or something, he wants to make it. He says we want to make our own country here, like Monaco. You know that Monaco is a separate country. The Vatican is a separate country. Separate country. So he said, if they can do it, why not us? Anyhow, from everywhere around the world, and of course, not forgetting India, where we've seen so many different groups, places, parties, temples, all these branches of the Gauranga tree, but the branches of the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur tree. in the modern time, where there's been thousands and thousands of people chanting. And so this kirtan that's going around the world, it is going in Chaitanya Charitamrita's mention of Mahaprabhu's kirtan and different kirtans that took place there, that the sound went to the edge of the universe. It was carried to the edge of the universe. And the Devas, when the Gauranga was born, the Devas, they're all puzzled about what's going on. Means the gods live in the heavenly planets. So those in the heavenly planets, they're wondering what's going on. They're being touched by everything, and they start then to descend to earth in the form appearing like brahmanas and brahmanas' wives as different people, and come to have darshan of the baby boy, this golden, bright golden colored boy that's been born. So this kirtan, it's heard not only in the world, it's heard further out into the ether. And if radio waves can reach out to the space shuttle and all the space station and these things, then why not Sankirtan finer than the radio waves? Radio waves, we know they're material. They're carrying the material sound. But transcendental waves transcend the mundane. So, Jeevana, did I get a little hint that you were sitting at a desk while everyone was celebrating Gaura Purnima?
Just in different parts of the world.
Oh,
Here
different
I was
parts
here,
of the
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, just when you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, all the different celebrations around the world, they look so wonderful. Well, we had a wonderful one here too, and I was in person.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I know sometimes for working people, they can't be in person because of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Would you like to give a brief or a long little description of the festival there?
well, we had Arun Krishna Prabhu. He's a really lovely devotee here. Maybe you know him. Yeah.
I do indeed, yes.
And so we were talking about it, and we were like, we were having FOMO, which, for if you don't know people, it means fear of missing out. FOMO, FOMO.
Never heard of it until today.
It's pretty commonly used, FOMO, because people are always fearing that they're missing out. So we were having some of that because Janardhan Maharaj had gone to India, and Ramachandra had gone to India, and they were going to start the parikramas. And so Arun Krishna Prabhu said, well, I'm just going to come each evening, which is kind of a commute over that hill, from San Jose to SoCal. And he said, I will come, and then we'll just have our own programs each of the nights of the parikramas. So on Thursday and Friday, we had special programs, and we were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita and singing a lot of the kirtans. And that's when we really started to hear a lot about Avatari. That's why it really stayed with us a lot. And he was reading, and also I can explain a little more. He was reading all the texts, so that was really beautiful. And that was Thursday and also Friday, and then on Saturday he did a program during the daytime, so we could it was like a regular Sunday festival program day. And again, reading more of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mostly that's what we were doing. And so we just had those just felt like we kind of had some solid days where we were celebrating Gaura Purnima kind of in the same time frame as the parikramas were going on. And then everybody was sharing videos of the parikramas or of Italy, things going on there, and different places, just sharing with each other all these different wonderful videos. And Swarnangi made a new outfit for the deities, which was completely spectacular. She has some sort of special mercy from above, how she makes these amazing outfits. And devotees were doing special preparations, especially Sanatani, working really hard in the kitchen for those 2 days, both Monday and Tuesday. And a lot of devotees coming and making garlands and doing decorating. So real classic, standard, super fun events going on throughout those days.
Jai, you're mentioning a Sonnangi making the deities close. Just reminds me of something I've been thinking that, you know, in India now, or in Vrindavan now, it's difficult to get plain bead bags without zippers, without designs, without all these fancy things on them. And I was wondering whether somebody in the West can know how to make a bead bag. We have in Ukraine devotees who make here, but is it that everybody has to have this zipper that rubs against the thumb, and everybody has to have pictures of which in other words, does everybody want to have bead bags that Guru Maharaj and Guru wouldn't approve of? We want to have a pattern for bead bags. Those who know how to do these things, maybe it would be nice to share.
Well, I can just touch bases with her. When we first started COVID, she was able to make all the face masks, and she's so smart. She just go in and find the right materials and everything, and know how to layer them, etc. So it might be something she could manage. You have to get the four petals, kind of like the 4 panels that they have, and just a simple over the head, and not all the fancy things. Oh,
beautiful. And beautiful to hear. And you transported us to the ashram there. And I think this also reflects what devotees have been doing in so many places, following the parikramas in the temples, in their homes also, by way of reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita and reading from, of course, Navadip Dal Mahatmya.
Oh, yeah.
And here we gave it a go at singing the Navadip Dal Mahatmya, which actually was very wonderful. Was it wonderful?
Too much wonderful.
Okay, we've got to have a contribution from our young devotional friend here, Hari Gopal Prabhu, who some of you know, or as we won't tell him, cover your ears, 9-year-old boy in Navadip Dham. And we still see only that side of him, actually, but we know he's grown up. So, but we could tell him what Srila Gurudev said about a boy is not a man until he reaches 40.
Okay.
Okay. He's very tolerant of us all who remember him in such a way. Let us hear something. Can we invite Hari Gopal? He can give a little reflection about whatever he likes, because he knows he has to be a participant to be here. So he must have something ready to share with us. Thank you, Jivanadi, by the way, of course. Oh, we shouldn't say thank you. Okay. Appreciation, Jivanadi. Govinda, Govinda. Yes, Hari Gopal Prabhu.
Thank you.
What?
I said thank you.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I guess I could say a little bit of.
Speak a little loud.
I could speak a little bit about what brings me joy, or has been bringing me joy in spiritual life. Something that has been helping the nourishment over the past few years, and it's the songs of the acharyas. I was singing them since I was a child, back from Navadvip days with Madhusudan Maharaj, because I remember him very well. But when I started coming here to meet with Madhusudan Maharaj
and the devotees,
and the devotees as well,
the devotees and myself.
Madhusudan Maharaj would teach us that we should try to not only sing the song and then read the translation, and or maybe read the translation and then sing the song, which is also very good. It's very serious. It's better than just singing unknown words. But to learn to sing and read the translation at the same time, like at first when I first heard it and tried it out, it seemed impossible. Even though I was born into Krishna consciousness, all these words, like I've been hearing them for many, many years. But when I try, and even if it's a familiar song, when you try to read the translation at first, while you're singing, it's so unnatural and so it seems impossible. Like, of course, Madhusudan Maharaj can do it, and then he's telling us something very high that we'll be able to do maybe when we're, you know, 50 years of Krishna consciousness. But actually, if you just keep practicing, in the beginning, as everything is, it was a little difficult. But Madhusudan Maharaj, he kept encouraging us, and I, after a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe two, especially with familiar songs, if you keep like singing them every day or every other day, you can get used to it and you get very familiar with it. And then you start making patterns with the Bengali words and the translations, and it just helps you get into the bhajan while you're singing it. Not just, oh, you understand it and then you sing it as a formality or something. Oh, they do it here in Krishna consciousness. They sing songs. Someone understands them from Bengal, and I'll just do it as a formality, and it will sound nice. But this way it just involves you more, and it definitely improved the experience many, many times. Many, many times. Now, after maybe 2 years of practice, I've been coming to Vila Govinda Ashram a couple of times per year. Maybe, I don't know, maybe fifth or sixth time here now. And I've been practicing at home, practicing here. And to my great surprise, when Maharaj, instead of singing some normal songs in the morning program, like a normal person, he says, okay, let's open Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, but with the Bengali verses. And that's when I found out that the book was also written in poetic verse form, which is amazing. Amazing, these Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other poets, Vaishnav poets, acharyas. And he said, okay, let's sing this chapter. And you must try to keep up with the translation. It's completely new. This is completely new song. And you try to keep up with the translation, and we'll just sing it. And I'm on my little phone. I have one verse at a time, and I'm playing Mridanga, and I have people distracting me from my left and right ear. What page is it? What book is it? Where do I get it? And so on. And despite all of these things, through all of this practice, which did not take 50 years of Krishna consciousness, I could get most of the translation. It surprised me, but I guess when you put your mind to something, by the blessings of the Vaishnavas, Guru Gauranga, you get the capacity. And I could follow the translation up. And it was very sweet to sing the songs, remember about the parikrama, up and coming Gaura Purnima, and understand the story at the same time, and the Leela. Yes. So Maharaj will sometimes, he doesn't try pushing things too much because it doesn't work really if you try to push something on people. But he's reminding gently, And I can say that it is a very worthwhile investment of energy, which at first will be a little difficult. But then too much sweet.
And then on Gaura Purnima day, and we can do it in other days in the year too, then we sing that section from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then when you follow it and see what you're singing at the moment you're singing, then that is like super wonderful. So the practice on the days before then culminates that we can sing that as the glorification of Mahaprabhu's or Nimai Sundar's appearance and what took place. And I mean, just so joyful. It's such a joyful section, of course, of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in one day, we can't sing all the songs that we want to sing also from the songbook, because also then the next day, actually, because we were continuing essentially the same mood, then the next day we're singing the Avibhav Gauranga's Avibhav song composed by Srila Guru Maharaj, which is there in the songbook, which is explaining Mahaprabhu's Gauranga Sundar's appearance and why he appeared, and super important for us all and super sweet. And when we sing and we're feeling what's taking place, this is Guru Maharaj's description. The other from the Chaitanya Charitamrita is Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's description, coming through the pure souls about the advent of the Lord. So anyhow, all of this, it is not that, oh, I am giving this instruction, etc. Rather, this is from Srila Gurudev, and he says that we should not just make sound into the sky. We should know what we're singing. So it's from him. And obviously, I mean, I don't want to say obviously, but then, naturally, we really should know what we're singing. And we can definitely become like a parrot for the songs we know, and we did know what we're singing, and we kind of now go on autopilot and get the lines wrong and the words wrong, as we also have experience with Gurudev and the devotees, singing, "Dear Lord, you are my dog and I am your servant," mixing around. Was it Amito Kukur, Tumito Takur? Then on autopilot, you can say Thakur and Kukur on the wrong places, and then it becomes, "Oh, I am the Lord, and you are my and you are my dog." Oh, as one of our sweet devotees found out, and the sweet devotee, many of you may have heard this story. That is a sweet devotee. Gurudev is passing by the Nat Mandir, the Kirtan hall in Navadip. He's passing by in the evening time, and there one devotee is singing exactly that song, and he hears them singing that, "Oh, I am the Lord and you are my dog." And Gurudev with his cane goes in and dunk on the ground, and stops. "What are you singing like this?" And the devotee, they get, "Oh, Gurudev, yes. Yes. But then he said, "But Gurudev, I wasn't leading. He was leading." But Gurudev didn't accept that. Also, you don't follow if someone leads it the other way around. You don't follow it. Why will you follow like that? So even that was not a valid excuse. And actually, who led it did not get blasted. Who followed got blasted, because he was the one that Gurudev heard. So this is an example where it's good to be conscious of what we're singing. Hare Krishna. Otherwise, the Lord may come to bite us in some way or another, as he did in that case. Gave a short, sharp bite to a devotee that some of us know here. maybe, yes, not maybe, certainly, who shall remain nameless, but would be happy to know that his story is being told to the world. Hare Krishna. And if you haven't finished reading Mahabharata, if you haven't finished reading Navadip Dham Mahatmya during these days, because it's a little long, Navadip Dham Mahatmya and Navadip Avataranga, please don't just close the book and think, okay, I'll try and get through it further next year. Try to finish the whole book. Maybe not in the temple programs, but in your own time. Try to finish the whole book, because when we start a book, we should read the book completely from beginning to end. And there are lots of treasures there. And as I've mentioned before, when we read that Navadip Dham Mahatmya and the Navadip Bhavataranga, we just feel that everything is there. And so appropriate for this age, because it is Navadip conscious Krishna consciousness. It's Mahaprabhu, Nitai and Gauranga conscious Krishna consciousness. And this is really our whole path. We come to Krishna through Nitai and Gauranga. And from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, very clearly we've got this understanding. And of course, they've drawing this from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, from the scriptures, that we can only come realistically to Krishna, proper consciousness of Krishna and service to Krishna, through Mahaprabhu, through Nityananda. So Navadip is the dispensing place, the place of entry to Vrindavan, to Radha Krishna's pastime. So whether our affinity is for Radha Krishna or for Nitai and Gauranga, plus, all, of course, Radha Krishna and their associates and Leela, or Nitai and Gauranga, their associates and Leela, whichever way it is, then Navadip is the necessary place for us to lay our head and pray for the mercy of Nitai Gauranga and the residents. So this way, Navadip Dham Mahatmya and Navadip Bhavataranga, they're giving us Krishna consciousness throughout. And they're giving us the Krishna consciousness coming through Gauranga, coming through Navadip Dham, coming through the place of dispensation. So this way, today, I can encourage you to, each of us, myself also, because we didn't finish reading it actually here in 4 days or 5. No, we were actually reading more longer than that. Yes, oh yes, we were reading quite a bit longer than that. But still, we didn't get to the end of the book, because we don't get through so many pastimes every day. We can only digest so much every day. You see, Priya Bhakti Prabhu's cooking there, but you can't eat, you can't cook a grand meal and digest it. You know, a 7 days meal in one, I'm going to eat 7 days meal in one day today and 7 days meal in another day tomorrow. Oh, don't show us Priya Bhakti, show Krishna, show it to us after Krishna's seen it. Oh, I see. Oh, that's Gauranga. Jai, Gauranga Sundar. Already receiving. Then we can see the prasadam. Beautiful. Oh, and on that note, we also received photos from around the world, and we did not need a camera to take a photo here of the festival of the Ananda Utsav, the Ananda Utsav of Sri Jagannath Mishra, and everywhere devotees enthusiastically cooking so many preparations, special preparations that Mahaprabhu liked, and preparations the devotees liked. And here, the Latvian devotees, except you, did you go? Munindra gave the duty to the Latvian devotees to go into the forest and into the fields here and pick shark. And he showed them 4 kinds of leaves, this kind of vegetable, in the forest and in the fields, just growing wild, to pick these kind of vegetables. And we had a really good green leafy vegetable, shak, preparation by the grace of the Latvian devotees going out collecting for a long time. You didn't go, right?
I did.
You did go. Oh, he did go. Okay. What was it like to pick shak for Mahaprabhu?
It was nice. It was nice to be with the devotees in the sun, in the field, trying to find the correct leaves and everything so you make the actual shak and not just some grass. But a little similar to other types of grass, but we figured it out in the end.
In the end.
No, not in the end.
About
Like,
that?
okay. One of them, by the way, was like a purple flower with leaves.
Called?
I don't know. Amijanina.
Hare Krishna. So you did go, please excuse.
But since it was such a big group, we didn't take too long.
But you're out a long time. Or did they go for a walk?
We didn't. I mean, not too long. If it was 2 or 3 people, it might have taken 3 hours, but instead it was only like 1 or 1.5.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Would anybody like to share something? By the way, Ishwananda Prabhu, very happy to hear news from Sweet Lake City, named by Munindra. Salt Lake City now is Sweet Lake City. And very happy to hear of the festival there and of your service to Ishwananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna. And Radha Sundari Devanasi, I see you put a note in the chat box that in Mayapur they do have the plain Japamala bags. And there is information and video in English and in Russian how to make a bead bag. I also have an experience. I already did one bag myself around 6 years ago. Oh, okay, very good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So then Prinana says, so true, even if you know how you do something, but Vaishnavas propose another way. Well, this way everything is easier and more auspicious, of course. Where can I find the translations that are in the Kirtan guide? They're in the Kirtan guide.
Word for word translations.
Oh, word for word. Well, that's a good question. There is a site, which is I think is KK Songs, perhaps, where you will find a fairly good word for word. I mean, helpful word for word for many of the songs that are in the songbook, but not all of them. And I have quite a random folder of collected word for word for some of the songs and some of the verses that we sing. Because also every day we are saying before prasadam, we hope, Sharira avidya jadendriya tahika jive fele visai sagare. This is something which also we can recite like a parrot. But if we can think what we're saying, it makes a difference to our honoring prasadam. And that word for word is also available. This is maybe something someone can do, is to clean up a folder I have, which is like randomly collected from KK songs on the web and from different places. And bit by bit, hopefully we get used to what are the words. And then by that time, when we're singing kirtans that we don't directly have the word by word translation, for instance, the 100 names of Mahaprabhu in the songbook, the 120 names of Krishna in the songbook. You get, when you're singing the song and you see the translation, you can catch what's taking place. Jashomati Nandana, etc. But this is a good question. By the way, who is behind the name iPhone? Would you like to share so we can be purified with knowing the names of the Vaishnavas? The names of the Vaishnavas are purifying to us. It is written in the scripture, and it is true. At the moment, we're reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, or we've been reading before the Gaura Purnima and Gaura Purnima time. I think it's 13th chapter of Adi Leela, maybe.
The trunk branches 3.
Yep.
It's 9 and 10.
Oh, it's 9 and 10. Okay, so yes, so we're on chapter 10 there. And there is the description of so many devotees' names. And just a word or two, and a hint, like a key to remind us of the qualities of those Vaishnavas. And really, how beautiful to hear the names, hear of the devotees. And this is another reminder, it's not only Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu and all his entourage, his associates coming to this world. So to chant the names of the devotees, to remember the names of the devotees, to remember the devotees who are behind the names, etc., is really very much our life and soul. Hare Krishna. Yes. So anything else from your side?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Induleka Devidasi raised a hand.
I'm sorry. It was a mistake. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, nothing. We haven't erased mistake from the dictionary, but we did erase coincidence. Should you be saying something, seeing as you raised your hand? Can we invite you to say something?
Sure.
Mhm.
1 second. Dandavad.
Govinda, Govinda, Dandavat.
Well, yesterday, was it the day before yesterday, for Gaura Purnima, we had a small
No.
festival at Dripping Springs in Texas, and we cooked a feast, and I was there with you in Italy for the program. And then we were there for the SoCal program, and we also Jivana there, so she indeed was there. And it was a very sweet small party, and it did feel, I also really like that quote that Jivana Didi said, because it did feel like, even though we're such a small group and we didn't do anything too grand, it still felt like we were elevated. So appreciate everybody celebrating all the festivals, because by doing that, you are making the whole world happier.
And you see, we may be in one place, but you perhaps went to more festivals than we did, because we were so busy with the devotees here. And we got some pictures, we got little, like, few-second video clips from around the world. But when you're quietly in your bhajan kutir somewhere, but with an internet connection, you can actually participate in more festivals than when we are in one festival. So well done. Hare Krishna. And cooking for Krishna, cooking for the Lord, cooking for the devotees, it's such an intrinsic part of devotional life. And I haven't really heard it, that it's come from our family, but we've heard that devotees sometimes say that Krishna consciousness is the kitchen religion. And there in the kitchen, so much loving creation is made for the Lord, but loving creation for the devotees. It is simultaneously the Lord and his devotees. Yet another example. And I sometimes think that the dedication and the time and the expertise that the cooks have, if that was actually accumulated, then what kind of grand visible service it will be. And it is accumulated in the spiritual world, but everything that they make gets eaten. So, if it's a sculptor, somebody sculptures for 2 hours every day, and there's like a team of 3 people sculpturing some sculpture for 2 hours every day or more sometimes, then you're going to have a pretty magnificent sculpture after 6 months. But the cooks, they're cooking all these they're sculpturing like wonderful preparations, and then they disappear. We don't see them anymore. But that disappear in a physical sense. But that is an expression of love and of selflessness and so many things, because it's for others, headed by the Lord, and others means the Vaishnavas. It's a very beautiful devotional pastime. Hare Krishna. And Jagannath Mishra had this festival for the appearance of his golden son. And from all over the universe, as we were saying, they came to see, who's this boy? And they don't know. One or two know, a handful have got some idea. But otherwise, just this magnificent boy has taken birth, and they're coming to see him. And it's only after Mahaprabhu, this is something that we actually read yesterday in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in the morning reading. It is only after Mahaprabhu's disappearance, after his pastimes with him directly present, that have been revealed in the world. It's only later that the population, you can say, rather than just a few, that they came to understand who is Mahaprabhu, that he is the Lord himself. He is Radha Krishna combined. And when the devotees more or less forced Mahaprabhu's hand due to their devotion to admit, you are Krishna. And then, in the case of a few, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Roy, in a case of a few, then Mahaprabhu revealed who he was. But he told them, now don't tell everybody. This is our secret. Don't tell everybody. So we can be whatever that expression was, Jivana was saying, that lament of not being there. We can lament we weren't there. And we can lament that we were not there, that, how I didn't have the fortune to be there at that time. But look where we are now, where we know who is Mahaprabhu by the grace of Rupa, Sanatan, Jiva, Raghunath Das, Raghunath Bhatta, all of the Goswamis, all of the line of the Parampara coming down by the grace of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada. Where we are now, we've come to, as Guru Maharaj would say, like full-fledged theism. But he's revealed in a very understandable and practical way. Full-fledged theism, full-fledged Mahaprabhu. He has revealed that. Srila Guru Maharaj we're thinking of, just now, and through means Srila Guru Maharaj. And Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev. So we are in a very fortunate time in that sense too, that Gauranga Mahaprabhu appeared and everyone's coming to have his darshan, but Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, they've got some idea of what's taken place. But in general, everyone's just very happy because they're all chanting Hari, Hari, and this golden boy appeared. And it's not that they're all, thinking that the Lord himself has come. This is Radha Krishna combined. Not like that. Later we've come to that, and now we are in that wave which has got access to know, at least know with our brain, that with all honor, that who is Mahaprabhu. But we also have access to at least know with our brain what we should do to really come to worship Mahaprabhu and lead our life properly. And Mahaprabhu can only be worshipped by Nama Sankirtan. So always coming back to the importance of the holy name, the importance of service mood, savor mood, selfless mood, and really the importance of giving up nonsense of this world. Let it all go. Let it all go. We do have a little part to play. Hare Krishna. Anyway, the world has been surrounded by beautiful descriptions of the Lord coming from authoritative ways, the vibration still of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj talking about the Lord through electronic means maybe, but it is there. We can hear that expression, see that expression also, the writings from before, and surrounded by the vibration of Nam Sankirtan, headed by Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev, headed by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in Shuddha Bhakta Charana Renu, that song, he says, when I see the Kirtan as ordained by Mahaprabhu, then my heart dances in joy. And so we are not singing random kirtan, we're singing the kirtan which has been ordained by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev. So it's a very joyful time. We're not doing anything manufactured. Here we are trying to follow in the footsteps, means follow the guidance, not to imitate, but to follow the footsteps of the great acharyas who've shown us what to do, given us what to do. And now it's up to us. We try our best, and don't forget, it's the trying part which is necessary, that lolium, that hankering. We need to show we want what is being described and not be half-hearted. We should try to make this really the central theme of our lives. So Gaura Purnima ki jai, Shri Navadip Dham Parikramas ki jai, all the devotees ki jai. And Priya Bhakti, hopefully I can cook for you. Okay, for you all. Huh? There's a message? A message from Priya Bhakti. Oh, a previous message from Priya Bhakti. When I cook at the temple, I actually cook for the Vaishnava and the Lord, no doubt. But my mind is thinking to make Mahaprabhu happy is to make his beloveds happy. Is that okay, Maharaj? Yes. Jivana? Yes. Okay, Jivana says yes. And Ganga Lil, yes, how beautiful. Yes, nice response. And hopefully I can cook for you. Jai, Priya Bhakta Prabhu, your enthusiastic cooking, good to see you. All this time, 1 hour you've been cooking, and now you're cleaning after offering up. All right. From one remote corner, and so many remote corners of the world here, and one central part, Radha Sundari in Mayapur. We're always remembering the Navadip when we see your name, Radha Sundari Devi. All right. time to go. Oh dear. But happily with you all. And what is today? Debriefing of Gaura Purnima. I'm not sure quite what title we have for today. But Jeevana did it. Oh, Jeevana, where did you go? Oh, yes, there you are. You're dancing on the screen. On my screen, somehow, devotees move around. So Jeevana did it, all very much appreciated. And to each of you, Narayani, Nadiyadi, you joined us. A little bit in, but they're very happy to have you with us. And all of you, I hope I've given individual appreciation. And on Facebook, oh, I have Facebook on, to Jagamohini, to Tungarasa, to Madhava Prabhu, and to not sure who it is, but I worship you with the capital Y. So someone who is a devotee of the Lord. And the devotees here sending their obeisances also, and their remembrance. Yes, they're all sending obeisances to you all. They're joining us in the Facebook, and to all of those who also seeing it recorded on Facebook and here on Zoom. Our appreciation to you, and most of all, our obeisances to you all. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And of course, you all know Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda, Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, and Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. And all our Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. All our present day Acharyas, the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. And all the sincere devotees, all the devotees everywhere, yourselves and all devotees ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo.
Shri Bhakti Ranjan
Hare
Mansur Maharaj ki jai.
And thank you to all our speakers and our silent ones today, to Indulekha. We put you on the spot and you shared very nicely too. Hare Krishna, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Oh, and last but not least, we included him with the devotees, but also our speaker, Hari Gopal Prabhu here. Hare Krishna. Dandavad Jivana Leelamai Priyanana Seva Rupa Linnarayani Priya Bhakta Dana Ganga Leela Didi Radha Sundari and all. Ashchi.